on the Chef You and I, and we have the cutin meat that Karen Schaefer of Schaefer's Bed and Breakfast and Schaefer's Farm taught me how to do. And now this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. This is venison. And what I love about venison, Karen, is that, I used to live overseas, and I actually lived on a 500-acre farm, and they used to go deer hunting. So I actually did venison, and I also learned how to do pheasant under glass, which was really cool, and learned how to go out and get wild mushrooms and make them. Have you ever had fried bread?
Yes.
It's delicious.
I don't know if it's the same as yours.
Well, it's not with egg. You just fry the bread.
Oh, okay.
And then you have it with the wild mushrooms and your eggs and they don't have the same kind of bacon as we do. But let's go ahead, and what are we going to do now?
We're going to put it in the skillet with the coconut oil.
Okay. And that's organic, basically,
yes.
Coconut oil, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you're really a healthy gal, right?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Okay.
My wine is my vice.
Well, wine is really good for you, actually.
Yes. They say it increases your iron absorption. Did you know that?
It does. And let's talk about the iron part, because the iron skillet actually brings iron into your system, am I right?
That's correct.
And that's probably the reason why you do it, right?
Yes.
Now this will feed how many sandwiches?
This is going to make 3 hoagie sandwiches.
All right, that looks delicious. Now, how long are we going to cook this on each side, Karen?
Probably about 3 minutes. I'm going to put some salt and pepper on it.
Okay. And then we're going to do fried cheese, right?
Yes.
And that takes all the oil out of it. I've never seen this before, so we're going to use
all
it
the oil, but it takes a lot of the oil out of the cheese, so it's not so greasy.
Right.
Stays on the skillet.
This looks beautiful. And I always use the type of salt and rock salt and the pepper that you're using and grinding it. This looks really good. And I want to show, if you don't mind, I want to show these vegetables that we did a little while ago. They are they smell so scrumptious. I can't wait to eat them. And we're going to use this as a side, right, for our vegetables. And then you've got another one over here. Let me go get my towel. You've got another one over here. Can we show that, where you actually are going to put this on top so you put a top on it?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it just lets that heat from the cast iron cook it a little bit better, and then you don't cook it as long, plus it keeps it moister.
Oh, that's good. Because a lot of people don't understand how to cook venison, because there isn't any fat on venison, is there?
It dries out, yes.
Now, the first time you ever made venison, what happened? Was it successful or not?
That's been a long time ago. I couldn't even tell you. It was good. It was good?
Now you're going to turn this meat over?
Yes, if I can find my fork. I had a fork.
I don't know what you did with it.
There it is on my butcher block.
All right. And so you kind of just brown it a little bit?
Oh, we need to turn this up a little.
Okay. That looks really sweet.
It needs to brown.
A little bit longer?
Definitely.
Now, is it kind of rare when you use it, or what?
No, it'll be
totally. Is it like chicken where it cooks like pretty thoroughly, easily?
Yes.
Okay.
The mistake that a lot of people have with deer meat is that white. It's the fat on a deer is real hard and it's rancid, and if you do not butcher your deer where you get all that off, that's what causes that
rancid taste.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So that's the big mistake.
You invited me to do a butchering, so I want to see how it's done, because like I told you, I've never gone hunting. This is something new for me, and I do want to go hunting this year for the first time. And I'm actually going down to Florida. Oh, you're not going to believe this one. I'm going down to Florida, to Tampa, to an educational reality show that tags sharks for the government, so we know where they are and what's happening. And they catch them by hand. They go down in a net and they catch them by hand and they tag them. And they put them right back out.
Oh, okay.
So it's really cool. So let's see that. Now, how much? 3 or 4 more minutes on that?
Yes.
Okay. It smells delicious. Now, let's show that one for a second. And this was onions and peppers,
mushrooms.
You could kind of put whatever you wanted into it,
Yes,
couldn't
this
you?
is going to be your topping on the
On top
steak.
of the steak. And if you didn't want to use the bread, you don't have to, right?
You could just put it on a plate
And just give it just like that.
That's right, and you could still put the fried cheese right over it and eat
Ooh,
it
that
just like
sounds
that
so
without
good.
the bread.
That sounds really good. So, what's your favorite, besides this, what's your favorite food on earth that you like to make?
But I
Now,
like
you were
to-
telling me about these waffles that I can't wait to taste.
They're squash waffles.
Now, how did you learn how to make squash waffles?
That was another just experiment because I didn't want all that bready dough type.
Doughy taste.
Yes. And so I just kept putting squash in and seeing what it would do, and then I got to a point where you could only put so much squash in it, and that's
Right.
where they...
So how much squash do you put in with the flour that you use flour, right?
Yes.
And there's probably a gluten-free way to do it too,
Probably. I haven't
like
looked
rice
into-
flour or
Yeah.
gluten-free flour that you can get.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they look
Okay,
great.
now we're going to let them cook without the lid on, and that'll get rid of like the moisture part, and as you can see the blood a little bit, so
Yeah.
we'll turn them back over a little bit.
Okay. They look really delicious. They almost like regular cube steaks. Now, do
Yes.
you make venison? You make venison stew? Do you make venison chili? What else do you make? Do you make venison spaghetti and meat?
Yeah, spaghetti sauce.
Spaghetti sauce?
I use
Ground?
venison in my spaghetti sauce. You brown the burger and then put it in the sauce, whatever
Oh, that
spaghetti
sounds really
sauce.
good. And I bet that takes a lot of calories out of the actual recipe, right?
Yes.
So now we need to take a short break.
Okay.
Give your website out again because that's really important.
It's schaefersbb.info, and it's 812-623-3292.
And we'll be right back on The Chef You and I with Karen Schaefer.